Okay, can you hear me now? So I saw no sound. Let me just hear if everybody can hear me now. Just want to make sure. Can you hear me? Oh my goodness. Hopefully you can. I can't hear you. Hang tight. Okay. Oh no. Yes. Oh, you can hear me now. Okay. Well, I was just welcoming everybody, and I just want to say welcome to the Jennifer Diamond channel, where I share how I healed eating whole food, plant-based, and exercising, and all kinds of things. And I really believe living this way or adding in more plants can help you too. And so I do want to take a moment to say hello to everyone in the chat. I see Mona in the chat. Hello, Mona. I see Jill Caperton here. Welcome. Hello. I see Annette. Oh, hi, Annette. Great to see you. Not to hear you, but to see you. Jackie, Jackie Cornog. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I'm so glad to have you all here. And thank you. I don't know what happened with the sound, but I'm glad we're all here and the sound is on and doing well. So I would just like to encourage you to reach out if you haven't, because the chat seems to be active, but I would like to encourage you, if you haven't, to reach out in our chat and share thoughts or comments or questions. You can even just say hello, and you can share where you're tuning in from if you're not, sure what to say. But I love that part about going live. So if you're watching the replay, now you can still ask questions or make comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So I was thinking about the upcoming holidays and still working on what I will be serving for our Thanksgiving here in the US. And I thought about casseroles. And then I thought about, where did the casserole idea come from anyways? So here we are. Today we will be starting out making my golden potato casserole. And then while it's in the oven, I thought, we could talk more about casseroles. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with making the dish. This recipe, just seeing if you're listening, it has 3 sections. So there's a main ingredient section, a veggie layer, and the golden sauce. I just want to let you know there is no salt, oil, sugar, and it's also flour and gluten-free as well. So let me I have to move over so I can make sure that I can see the recipe, just because I want to make sure that I share it correctly. And so this is our golden potato casserole. And so, the most important, the star, right, are the potatoes. And I'm going to share the ingredients. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then I also want to let you know that if you are interested in getting the whole recipe written out, you can go to thejenniferdiamond.com. It's my website. Go under recipes. There's a drop down that says free recipes. And then from there, you can find it. And Todd said it is up already. Is that correct, honey?
That is correct.
Okay, so I did have to do a few things ahead of time just for saving on time, and that is the potatoes. So what I did was I took some sweet potatoes, and you can use any kind of potatoes you want. I like the ones that have the orange flesh for this recipe because I love the contrast. But if you don't care for that one, some people think they're flavorless. I love them all. You can choose any other kind. You can do any other kind you want. You can do a Japanese or, garnet. There's so many, but whatever is to your liking. And then I also went with the Yukon Gold. You can use red potato. You can use russet potato, any white potato inside. Now, if you're going to use the russet, the skin is thicker, so I might not use the skin. But if you're going to use the softer one, then I do like to incorporate the skin. I'm going to show you how I am making it today, but I also want to tell you another way that you could make it. So what I did was I took a cookie sheet, and I put some potatoes on the cookie sheet. I call it a cookie sheet, a baking sheet. I guess you could call it both. So of course, you wash them, and then I poke holes in them, which I never used to do, but I learned that they can explode otherwise. And then I laid down some potatoes, and then they were ready to cook. Now, there is another component here that I put with these potatoes. These are already cooked. I cooked these yesterday at 400 degrees for about an hour. And the other component is adding this guy right here. We're going to talk about what this is in here in the wrap. I have it in a bowl, but actually when I first created it, I was able to put it on the side here and I cooked everything. So this is ready to go. What I wanted to share with you is if you didn't want to bake them, you could cut the potatoes into dice the potatoes, wash them, of course, dice them up, and then either steam them in a steamer with lots of water underneath, or you can boil them. Just make sure you don't cook them to what you would cook like a mashed potato. You want it to be firm and still hold, you know. We can mash it, but I just like the consistency better of a little thicker. So that's up to you. Now, when I did these, and I'm going to move these over here now in a second. I'm going to first move this. This is part 2, and I thought it was pretty, so I wanted to start with it there. I noticed that because I don't put tin foil or anything on here, that some of the skin got a little bit hard. So I incorporated as much of the skin as I could, and then the rest I just kind of cut away. Now, the sweet potato, I did not use the skin this time. You certainly can. I made this yesterday, and so this is a little bit left over, so you can kind of see that there are some pieces with skin and some that are not. And so okay, so anyways, let me get a bowl because we are going to get busy with this. I feel like I should talk about the onion thing first. What do you think? Or should I just start going with the direction?
Onions?
Okay. The reason that I want to say that is because, you know, I would have had this packet here. See, and it's a little leaky, which is good because we want all that liquid, but that's how I would do it. So maybe I will show the onions in a little bit. So I put it aside for now. Let me grab the bowl, here it is. And we are going to start getting these potatoes going. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get all the insides out of the potato. So the easiest way for me when I bake it is just to kind of cut it open. You don't have to do that. But I find that if I'm not going to use all the skin, that it's a little bit easier for me to do that. Go ahead, honey. And so you can see here they are. And so anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little bit of this off. And you don't even have to use a knife, but you can. And maybe this right here. Now, you can make this a head or, you know, the potatoes, or you can make it all except for the very end. I'm going to show you and then just save that for the part that you know, there's making the potatoes, putting everything together and assembling it and then putting it back in the oven. And so what I'm saying is you can make everything up to that part ahead of time if you want, and then you can put it in the oven when you're ready to either eat it yourself or share with others. So yeah, so I think for the most part, this looks pretty good. So there you go. And then, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut all of these. And then what I like to do, you don't have to do this, but I like to just kind of make these strips. Now you're going to mash it. Some people like to mash it all the way, which it doesn't matter then, but I kind of, like I was saying earlier, I kind of like it a little bit, with pieces, because I really like the color, the different colors. So I'm dicing it here, where I said you could dice it ahead of time if you wanted, and then cook it, boil it or not, or whatnot. But if you're baking it, I wouldn't do it that way. Why? Because I think it will just get too like more like a fry, and it won't be soft. But there really is no wrong way. So this is going to take me a few minutes. I guess I could have cut some of this ahead of time, but I really just wanted to show you all together at once. So there we go. And I guess I could always have Todd help us here, but let me grab a little scooper. I love this thing. Do you guys ever use these scooper scrapers? I don't know. I just think they're great. And then these little pieces you can eat. You can put it in a salad. You can put it in your compost, whatever works for you. Here we go. See, these seem to be really nice and working out really great. And there we go. Da, 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 da. Do we have any questions or anything going on? Anyone else that's saying hello, honey?
Marilyn is in the house.
Marilyn
Dubin.
Well, hello and welcome. Welcome.
And
we
there
are just
is Plant-Powered Peddler.
Hey, Plant-Powered Peddler, welcome. So good to have you. It's been a while.
And Apple's joined the party as well.
Hi, Apple. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. This is really something that I really enjoy doing, is hanging out with you guys. So I appreciate you being here. And so, yeah, basically, if you're just tuning in, I'm just starting the recipe. I made the potatoes ahead of time, and I've got one sweet potato. I had 5 Yukon Golds, all medium size. The recipe is on our website. I am going to take the skin off for this. You don't have to. I just think that it's just tough. So it's up to you. But like I said, I'm fine to leave it from the Yukon Gold. But if I were doing a russet or some of the sweet potatoes, I don't really care to leave it. So I'm just going to see if I can cut this up. And I just want to dice this.
While you're doing that, I do want to note that Annette has been invited to a potluck in a couple of weeks and is bringing a stuffed pumpkin with your cranberry sauce on the side.
Ooh, way to go, Annette. That is super cool. So did you already make it, or you're planning on making it? And I'm excited for you to join a potluck. That is always fun. We go to our local potlucks, and it's always fun, not only going, but enjoying the people there and getting to have something in common. We actually have one a month that's a raw potluck, and then the other ones are cooked. And so you can start to see, now that I am adding the sweet potato, the contrast. Isn't it beautiful? It's really, really nice. See? So, that's why I like it so much. We've got a couple more of these to cut up, and then we are going to move on. And this one doesn't really have any, the skin is really great. Now, the difference also I'm noticing today, if you see a blemish or something, you could just cut it off, is when these came right out of the oven yesterday, some of these spots on the skin, they were kind of hard and really firm. And these sat in the refrigerator, cooked overnight before I brought them out to share with you. And I'm noticing the skin that I thought we were going to be cutting off is softer. So maybe that is something to just note in case you're not sure about the skin. The skin, I like the skin because it's got all the fiber and nutrients and all the yummies, but some dishes, you don't want it, because maybe it changes the texture or whatnot. So Annette says, my husband and I will be the only whole food plant-based people there. Oh, well, good for you. Maybe people will be inspired and learn from you. Annette says, oh, yes, I'll make the cranberry sauce. Oh, a day or two ahead of time. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. And I really, really do hope that you enjoy it. It's such a simple, wonderful, delicious dish. So my family says. Is that right, honey?
Yes.
Yeah, and we have ours made, of course, already, and that's in the freezer right now. So I can just, take it and thaw it, and it's ready to go. So depending on the temperature that you like your cranberry, you can heat it up a little bit or you can leave it cold. How do you like your cranberry sauce, honey?
Mildly chilled.
Oh, mildly chilled. That's very nice.
Slightly above cooler than room temperature.
Okay.
However you give it to me.
However I give it to you. That's nice. That's nice. So we're almost done cutting these up. And you can see it's a lot of potato here. So it can really fill up a casserole. And it's just a great dish. It's very filling. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You see some of them got smushed. Some of them, don't look as great. That's okay. In the end, we're going to kind of smush it a little bit. So it's all good, all good. And we're almost there. Thank you for your patience. So we've got all the potatoes and one more half ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to put together some veggies, and we're going to set these potatoes aside. I have one more half to cut. I can't leave this guy out. I just can't. So I'm not going to. Okay. And there we go. One more cube. I'm really surprised at how great a lot of the skin came out, which I thought it wasn't going to. So let me just rinse this knife off because it's got a lot of the starch and stuff on it, and I want to be able to use it. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm just going to toss this. You could, if you wanted to smash this, you could smash this. I like it kind of like this, so that's why I like to cube it. Do you want to show an overhead of how beautiful this is looking? It's quite a big pan, and so I am going to move some of this out of the way, and we are going to on to the veggies. So the veggies, let's put this aside right here for a minute. The veggies are going to consist of all these. Let's talk about what we have here. So let me just, tell you, we have chopped onion. Now, I like to cut things very fine because I don't want big chunks in the casserole. But of course, as it cooks down, it softens, so you can do whatever you want. I've got onion here. This is a cup of everything. I've got zucchini. I've got mushrooms, and I've got eggplant. The eggplant does have the skin on it. It was part of this guy right here. And if anyone is interested, I can show you how I cut the zucchini and everything small. And if not, we can just keep going. And then in this one, we're also going to add it, but not at the same time. I've got kale and I've got some fresh garlic. Now, you don't have to use kale. Maybe you don't like kale. Use spinach. Use bok choy. Use any green that you want. Okay, but because the greens don't need as much time cooking, I have them in a separate thing. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. And I'm going to heat this up for a couple of minutes. And then we are going to get started. Now, while that's heating up, I think this is a good time to talk about the onion mixture here. And we're not going to be using this onion mixture until the sauce, but, and I will show you how to wrap it later, but I do want to just, gosh, all right, I'm just going to open it because I keep toying with it. There is liquid in this because what you put in here is 2 tablespoons of water with onion and garlic, okay? And I'm just going to move it out of here. Now, I don't like wrapping stuff in tin foil just directly, so you'll see mine also has this parchment paper. And because there's some liquid in there, I want to save all the liquid, as much of it as I can. Keep it in this bowl because it's got goody, yummy, delicious flavor to it, and it's going to help our sauce. And so I'm just going to plop this in here just to show you. And so you can see the onion and the garlic. Now, I had an entire garlic head. You don't have to do that much. You're going to want about 6 to 8 cloves of garlic, depending on your liking. And so what I did was I just cut the top off. I just cut this top off so that I could see a little bit. And then I put it in the tin foil and parchment paper. And that way, once it's done cooking, I can just easily squeeze it out of the top, which we're going to do in a little bit. And so let me just check this heat. Otherwise, I'm going to go into more detail about that. So let me just see. You know, the best way I can tell you to see if your pan is hot enough for no oil cooking is a little bit of water. And if it does that, my friends, what does that tell us? It's hot enough. It's definitely ready. I had it all the way up. I'm going to turn it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and add all of this stuff right here. I did want to tell you, these are all 1 cup, but the kale was 2 cups of chopped kale. You could even use chard if you like chard. And the garlic cloves were 4 garlic cloves in here. Okay, here we go. Just add that right in there, the whole thing. You know, some people like to do the onions first. I mean, you can, but I just want to get it all in here and just less steps, because this is kind of a lot of steps. So less steps, less is more, less is more. So let's just get this going. Now, if you find that it's sticking a little bit, what do? We're just going to add either a tablespoon at a time of water, or you can use veggie broth. Check for veggie broth if you didn't make it. Make sure it doesn't have any salt or weird, and it just helps keep it from sticking to the bottom of the pan, since you're doing no oil, or I'm doing no oil. So you can see right there. Can you see that, honey? Or should I move it a little bit? There we go. So we're going to check on that and keep that. Here's the flame. It's kind of a medium flame. And so we're just going to let that do its thing. And I'm going to show you what I did with the onion. Let me grab another onion. I don't think I have any more white onions, but that's okay. We can use purple. The idea is I want to show you how to wrap it in the tin foil. So what I like to do is take the paper off. And so, you know, you can take it off ahead of time, and then I like to cut it in half. And I like to cut this end off too. So these can go in my scraps, or, you know, for making broth, or wherever you put your, you know, if you compost or I cut it, sometimes it makes it easier to paper layer off. And so sometimes I do it like that. And then once you have that off, we're just going to cut them into 4s, into quarters. So I've got, and you could do this with any color. I used the brown onion. You can use a sweet onion. You can use this purple onion. It doesn't matter. But I like to use the lighter color in this because I don't want it to change the color of the sauce, although I don't believe it would. Okay, so that's the onion. That's how you want to get it ready to go. And like I showed you with the garlic, you would just cut the top off. If I can do that here. And then the reason why you want to have the top off, let's see if you could see this, is so that when it's time to squeeze it out, it will just be a lot simpler. So that's how I usually do it. And now I'm going to show you how I wrap it, and then we're going to move on. Let me just take a quick peek at how this is doing. Look at that. It doesn't take long when it's, you know, these little tiny pieces. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so I'm just going to let it go a little bit longer, and then I'm going to add the kale and the garlic in. I don't like to add the garlic too much ahead of time because garlic can burn. So, okay. So I was just going to reuse this, but maybe I'll get a fresh piece to show you. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get a piece of parchment paper and some aluminum foil, just so I can show you like fresh, you know, how this works. So I'm just gonna put that crazy thing there. So the first thing I'm gonna do is literally, I'm just gonna plop this in here. Okay, that's it. This is like not hardcore. You put it in here, okay? And then I'm gonna want to also, I'm gonna try to close it like this. And before I close this side, I wanna put 2 tablespoons of water in there. Don't spill it. And if it spills, put 2 tablespoons more. It's not a big deal. Okay, so because I'm not actually cooking this, I wasn't going to put the water in unless you think we should.
I think people can figure out how to put in 2 tablespoons of water.
Okay, so we're just going to wrap this, and then I'm going to turn it upside down. Then I'm going to take the aluminum foil, and I'm going to place this right there. And I'm going to try to go on both sides first. And then I'm going to fold this up and let it kind of wing out. Do you see what it's doing here? Wing out, because I'm going to wrap it like a new baby. And then I'm going to do the same for the other side. Just fold it up and wing it out. There you go. Now, I'm ready to put this on that, that area with the potatoes. So that's how I wrap it. And then when it's done cooking, I put it in a bowl because I want to save all the liquid. So any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we are going to move on from that. Let's check this, see how we're doing here. Oh, yeah, I think this is looking good. Looking good, honey. Can you see this? Yes. Okay. I know it's a little dark here. I think if I put the stove light on, it's just not good. So I'm not going to do that. But I will also bring it close to the camera so that you could see that as well. But first, what we're going to do is our next step, which is we are going to add in the garlic, which is not wanting to come out of this little container. And there you go. I cut that up yesterday, so that's ready to go. Give that a little mix. Do you like that? I love that little happy face. I got that in Japan. And then I'm going to go ahead at this point and add in my kale. Now, if I was doing spinach, I might just wait till it was done and then put it on when the fire is turned off and just leave it covered, and it will wilt on its own. But kale is kind of a hearty green, so I think it can take a little bit more. I haven't had to add any liquid because there was liquid in the mushrooms and the zucchini and actually the eggplant. So we were good. So I'm just going to mix this up. I'm going to cover it up and we're going to check on it in a few minutes. All right. So the other thing I want to talk about is, before we get going on the sauce, is a little bit about casseroles. So casserole dishes come in different sizes, different shapes. And so I just kind of wanted to give you an idea in case maybe you don't know, or maybe you forgot. This casserole dish is really nice. It's got on the bottom, it says 2.8 liter. It's kind of a deep dish. It's got a lid. And it's great, right? You can put everything in here ready to go. I also tend to use a lot of Pyrex. And this is a small one. I thought should I bring all the other ones? No, it's the same thing. I just have different sizes. And so this one does not have a lid. I know you can buy lids for like storing, but I don't know about, them being common, having glass lids with this size. I can pull out, I do have a small one actually, and it does have a glass lid. But I just want to say this size is it says 11 by 7 by 1.5 inches or 2 quarts and then it's dash 2 liters. So anyways, hopefully that makes sense. But it is a casserole dish. And so any casserole dish you have is going to work fine. Sometimes I like to use the clear glass ones because I want you to be able to see the layers. Although today I'm kind of leaning towards this guy, and I have one made that I did in that one that I'll show you in just a little bit. So the next thing we're going to do is check the vegetables, but we are also going to start getting into making the sauce. And so I'm just moving over some things here, and I will talk about that in a minute. Let's see if this needs any water. I always tip it this way. I don't mean to cover it so that you can't see, but I try to get the condensation on the lid in the pan instead of all over the floor or my legs. Now look at that. It is starting to stick a little bit. So this is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and I have water today. I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of water. You could do a tablespoon at a time. The idea is, look, it just helps it loosen up a little bit, and it's just fantastic. And so the idea is you don't want it to be crunchy. You want it to be translucent and soft and wilty and delicious. And so I think we can go ahead and turn the fire off, turn the flame off. I'm going to put the lid on and just let it sit there. If you feel like you want to remove it from the heat, you can. I was feeling like maybe it should cook just a tiny bit more, so I'll leave it right there. But just remember, it is kind of still cooking because that burner area is still hot. Okay, so the sauce is really, really wonderful. Let me see. Okay, this is my golden cream sauce, and I've got 6 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I am using this non-fortified, whatever works for you. Everything can be adjusted to your taste. If you don't like nutritional yeast, don't use it. If you don't like mushrooms in your veggies, don't use it. Swap it out for things that you like. But this is how I came up with this, and we really have enjoyed it. So here we go. There's the nutritional yeast. Now, I am pouring it in a NutriBullet because I'm going to mix everything up and make it nice and creamy. The next thing I'm going to do is add in, and you don't have to do it in any order. I mean, yesterday I think I put the onions in first, but I'm going to go ahead and add the onion and all that good liquid. And yes, I'm using my hands, but if you don't like that, then don't do that. But I know the people that are going to be eating this, and I am pretty confident they're okay with it. So let me move that. And then here we go. So I'm going to just take out a few of these. So you can just squeeze it. Look, squeeze it from the bottom. You see how that comes out? There we go. Look at that. And sometimes I see these middle pieces, I just take them out. I don't like those sometimes because sometimes that means they're sprouting. And even though I just bought that garlic, I'll just take it out. So put in the garlic as much as you want. And if it's not squirting out very easily, then like I started to show on the side, you can individually, squeeze it, or you can even unwrap the paper. But the idea is to make it simple and easy. Why do you want to cook and roast garlic? Because you guys, it brings out the most amazing flavor. And so I like to do that, but I'm taking the extra step and taking out this little piece here. And yeah, it gets a little messy, but I'm okay with that. And so I like to put in about 6 to 8 cloves because we are garlic lovers over here. Plus I love what it can do for your body, for your health, keeps the inflammation down, and so much more. So I'm going to see if I can squeeze a few more out of here. Let's see if I can. See, these didn't get cut. These middle ones did. Yeah, look at that. It's so great. But you don't want to eat the paper part. So that's, where you got to draw the line. Okay. Were you saying something, Todd? Any?
I say garlic yummy in the comments.
Oh yeah. Yeah, see, you like garlic too. We're big garlic lovers. If you don't like garlic, ooh, I don't know what to say about that. Maybe I would say, have you tried it roasted? Because that is really the way to go if you ask me. And so, okay, so you get this. I'm going to just take this last little inside. I don't know why all of these have that, but I don't want it in mine. And whoops, and here's a last clove. Let's see. I think that's probably good. And if you have extra like I do, what could you do with it? Spread it on potato or, oh goodness, I dropped it in there. Or, use it as a spread on anything. If you do eat manna bread or sourdough or anything like that, like it's really good to toast up. But I personally like it in like a baked potato. So, okay, so let's move that aside. Da, 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 da. Okay, one last time. I just want to make sure everybody's happy over here. Everybody happy over here? Oh yeah, see? This is looking good. Looking good. And I'm going to bring it. Oh, okay, he's showing the overhead. When you're done with this camera, honey, I'm going to show it also in the other camera. Okay. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? I just love it. And I'll just keep it covered because we're not going to use it right away. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back over here. I'm fine with it sitting on this hot burner. I just didn't want it to start sticking again. Okay, so now back to this. The things that we are going to, let me just check out the cream, golden cream sauce. So right now we have the onion, the garlic, the liquid, and nutritional yeast in here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to put some fresh lemon juice, and this is a tablespoon of lemon juice. Now, you can adjust some of these flavors like the nutritional yeast and the lemon at the end and see if you like it stronger, add, or if it's not, to your liking, and maybe the following time you can do a little less. And then we have all of these beautiful different herbs and seasonings. Can you show this one overhead, honey?
I can.
So what we have on here, I'll just tell you, is turmeric. We've got, and it's a half a teaspoon of turmeric. We've got smoked paprika. We've got Italian seasoning. We've got tarragon. I even have freshly ground black pepper. And then the 2 white powders. We're going to have potato starch. You could use cornstarch. I prefer potato starch. And baking powder. And so that's what we have here. So we're going to dump all of those in here. Yeah, da, 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 da. Everybody in. Everybody in. And then our last ingredient is almond milk. I have a cup here. You could start with a half a cup. I'm fine to put the whole thing in there because it will thicken up. And I did make this almond milk yesterday, so I know that it just has almonds in it. I did not sweeten it. Usually I sweeten things for my guys in the house that like coffee, but I decided not to do that for this because that is a flavor that we don't want. So if you're going to buy it store-bought, make sure that it's unsweetened and like doesn't have any, vanilla flavor or anything. All right, so we're going to get, oh, you know what I'm missing? My ears. Would you go grab them for me? He's going to go grab them for me, and then we are going to have a dance party. And so anyways, hopefully you guys are hanging in there with me. We're going to also, I think what I'm going to do is preheat the oven, and I'm going to put it to 400. Usually our oven doesn't calibrate correctly, so I usually like to do it a little higher, but I'm going to go with 400. I think that's going to be great. And then I'm just going to put my NutriBullet together here. And then what I like to do is shake it a little bit because I don't want anything sticking to the bottom. And so this.
Put them here.
Thank you. Hey, you snuck in here and didn't say hello.
Hello.
There he is. There he is. Okay, so if you guys know me, I like a dance party. Any opportunity to dance when my appliances are going, I'm going to do it. So here we go. I'm going to put this in place. We're going to do a little dance. You can hum, you can sing. let it go a little longer, but probably don't need to here. And so I just want everything blended up very well. Let's take a peek, see if we need to dance again. Oh God, it smells great. The nutritional yeast can give it a cheesy smell, a cheesy kind of flavor to it. And that's what I was trying to go for here. And I'm just going to use this fork and just make sure, yeah, it's blended up very well. So we don't need to dance anymore, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't. Keep going if you want to. So I'm going to take this and unplug it and move it here. I started to preheat the oven. And so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to start to layer our casserole. And before that, we're going to take some of this. I'm going to pour it in a different measuring cup. You don't need to do this when you're making it, but I kind of want to show you. I want to put about a half a cup or so into the veggies, and we're going to just cook it for about 1 minute to 2 minutes to activate the baking powder or potato starch to get it a little thicker, and then we're going to start layering. So let me grab that. Da, 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 da. All right. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I know I am. Look at that. Look at that. That's another thing. By pouring it in here, whoa, and this is well over 2 cups. So there you go. You know, based on the size of your onion and things, we put in a cup of liquid, but it's about, I'd say it's about 2.5 cups. Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to just go ahead. If you want to show this again, sweetheart. And I'm going to turn this flame back on low. And I'm just going to pour in about, half a cup, maybe a little bit more. Just want to eye it. And let me just mix that up and see if I want to add more to it. And I might want to add a little bit more to it. I had some extra from yesterday, and that's also on the side. I just put it in the fridge. I'm going to add a little bit more to it. So where am I now? I still have 1.5 cups left. So that was about a full cup that I put in here. And that, I think, is the right amount. And so we're just going to let that cook not very long, medium heat, and that's what we're going to do with that. Oh, I should put this guy over here. So let me cover it. We're going to check it in just a minute. You don't want it to burn. So you don't want the flame too high, and you don't want to leave it unattended. It's like a baby. We got to watch it, right? Okay, so let's get out our casserole pan dish. This is our casserole dish that we're going to use today. Now, one thing that you can do and decide if you'd like, and I'm going to move some of these dishes out of our way. Hold on one second. One thing you can decide is, do I just want to have the potato mixture, or do I want to mix a little bit of this cheesy golden sauce? You can't go wrong either way. If you want to do it, you can. What I'm going to do is layer it. And so I'm going to go to the one we just made together. So this would be the time if you wanted to mix in some of the sauce, you could. But like I said, I'm just going to take some of this potato and I'm just going to layer it. Just going to layer it. Layer, layer, layer. And, you know, depending on your pan, you know, the depth and how much potato you have will dictate, you know, how thick you want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and pour a layer of this on top. So, you know, it's still pretty amazing. It's saturated, but again, you can do it any way you want. Then what I'm going to do is continue to layer. So I'm going to put another layer on top. Layer, layer, layer. This is just going to be the second layer. And you could do 3 layers. I could have done 3 layers. I just did 2 layers. So because what I want to do is I wonder if I should have done, I'm, you know what, I'm going to change my mind because you can change your mind. I'm just going to put a second layer in between. I just decided just now. Okay, so here I go. There you go. And now I'm going to put this last little bit on top. That makes me happy. It's okay to pivot, you know, especially if this isn't something you're used to doing all the time. And then I kind of just little bit push down a little bit. Okay. And let me rinse my hands, check our veggies, because we're going to add the veggies onto it next. And then it's going to be ready to go in the oven. It's that simple, you guys. Oh yeah, this is done. This is done. Look at that. Now, how do I know it's done? Because the sauce is a little thicker than when I first started. And that other sauce that I already poured in the potato, because it's going back in the oven, it should thicken up as well. Look at that. Okay, now, I have a lot of veggies, so I don't know that they're all going to fit in here. But what I want to do now is, layer it with the veggies and the cheese sauce. Oh my gosh. I'm going to just start there and just spread it out. Look at that, you guys. I can add more. Look at this casserole. Doesn't this look good? I don't know. I'm getting excited. And then I think I can fit it all. All right, look at that. I can fit it all. Wow. Getting all those greens, all those yummies, all those fun vegetables. And then look at this. I'm just going to kind of cover it up, just like that. Now, I have a tiny bit of the sauce still, which I could save it with my other leftover, but it's such a small amount. I think I'm just going to drizzle it. Now, I'll show you the leftover that I had from yesterday. And gosh, look at this, honey. What do you think?
I think it looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to eat it.
Yay! So this is from yesterday, and you can see, let's see if we can, you can see, I think you can see. Let me see if I can share this. You know, it's much, much thicker. It's much, much thicker. And I didn't cook this one. This is just from sitting. So, you know, the other one was watery. Oh, you want me to show you this way? The other one was watery. This is, you know, it's just thicker. And of course, like I said, if you cook it, it'll be even more thick. I have some extras for, like, I don't know, when you're the chef, you get to have little things to eat. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. I am not going to put a lid on it. But as I'm cooking, if I find that it starts to brown too much, I can put a lid on at that time. If you're using one of the casserole dishes that doesn't have a pan, I would put some parchment paper and then tin foil on. Don't burn yourself. Be careful, everybody. So let me put this in here. And then while that is, you know, everything is cooked. So basically, we're just heating it all up. We can start talking about casseroles. Oh, my goodness. I'm being careful. And there we go. I'm going to put it in for 30 minutes. And hopefully that will do it. All right. So now let me just move some stuff out of the way. And we are going to see, are there any questions? Anything going on in there? Anyone new that we should say hello to that came in late?
Koala Mama is in the house.
Well, hello, Koala Mala.
Koala Mama.
Koala
Mama.
Thanks, honey. Koala Mama. I love that name. Isn't that fun? Koala Mama. I wonder if you are into koalas. Regardless, I'm glad you're here, and thank you for being with us. Okay. No other questions?
Nope.
Oh, I also see, oh, I thought I saw somebody else. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to, yes. Let me see, hold on. No, that is right. Yeah, so that's baking for 30 minutes. So we are good. And so, okay. I also have some toppers that you can put on after the fact, or we could have put them on I have some chopped green scallion. You could do chives, which are really fun. You could do parsley, or you could even take a little bit more of the paprika. We use smoked paprika. You can use any paprika. I've got sweet or whatever, and just sprinkle that on top. But you'll see at the end, you might not want to use any of that, or you might want to. So anyways, okay, so here we go, you guys. A question. Does anyone know where the word casserole actually came from? And I'm asking you, Todd, too.
Well, I kind of do.
You do? Well, don't tell. Because did you know, though, before you actually knew?
Did I know before I knew?
Yeah.
I guess the answer to that would be no.
Okay. Well, I'd love to hear in the chat if you guys know. And in the meantime, I will share a little bit about casserole, the word casserole. The word casserole is actually French, and it comes from the word casa, meaning saucepan. This is a big saucepan. I don't even know if that's really a saucepan, but you get what I mean. It comes from the word saucepan. So casserole originally referred to the dish, right? Or the pan itself. The dish or pan itself, which I thought was really interesting. A large, deep pan or bowl that's used for cooking in the oven. And then over time, people started using casserole, not just for the pan, but for the food inside of it. So technically, the casserole is the vessel, but when we use the word casserole now, many times it means the whole baking dish. And when we want to talk about the vessel itself, then we call it the casserole dish. Did you guys know that? So, and casseroles, meaning the baked dishes in the pan, have been around in some form for thousands of years. Early versions were often made with grains like rice that were pounded and pressed and baked with savory fillings. So that one dish wonder concept is actually really very old. So I just wanted to check the chat. Does anyone know where the word casserole actually came from? And I see Jill says nope. Mona says no. Koala Mama 2 is not answering, but I see a laughy face for our stuff. Let's see. Koala Mama 2. I'm French Canadian. I should have known. Oh, interesting. Dinner and a game show is too much fun. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying. So then here's another question for you guys. I just am curious, did you grow up with casseroles? And if so, what was the casserole in your family? So we'll give you a chance to write that down, and then I'll also share for myself. But in the meantime, I wanted to share that when we look around the world, almost every culture has its own kind of casserole style dish. Like in France, there's ratatouille. That's a slow baked dish with layers of eggplant and zucchini and tomatoes and herbs. It's delicious. And then in Greece, there's vegan oh gosh, how do you pronounce that?
Moussaka.
Moussaka, I apologize. That's vegan moussaka, and it's layered eggplant also with potatoes and a rich tomato and lentil sauce, and then you just bake it until it's like bubbly and golden. And then in the UK, you'll find plant-based versions of shepherd's pie, a lentil and vegetable base topped with creamy mashed potatoes and baked until the top is lightly crisp. And we have actually enjoyed somebody's at our local potluck before. It was really good, and it was a vegan version. Then Italy, baked pasta dishes like pasta al forno or vegan baked ziti. Combine pasta, they combine the tomato sauce and the vegetables, and sometimes they can add lentils or beans all cooked together in the oven. Does that sound yummy, all of this? I'm hungry too today. So even if they don't always call them casseroles, they follow the same basic idea, right? A bunch of ingredients layered or mixed together, baked low and slow in one dish, and then brought to the table still hot. It's so good. A definite comfort food. If you were to ask me, I love that stuff. So here in the United States, the modern casserole really took off in the late 1800s and especially in the 20th century. So like around 1870s, the word casserole started to mean more like what we think of it today, a dish where ingredients are baked together and put in a single pan. But the big boom came in the 1950s, right after World War II. And that's when new lightweight metal pans and glass baking dishes became more widely available. And convenience foods like canned soups and frozen vegetables showed up in almost everybody's kitchen. So casseroles became the hero, right, of the busy home cook. So you could just toss everything into one dish, bake it, and have dinner for the whole family with minimal cleanup. So that was a really big deal then. If you grew up in the United States, you might remember things like green bean casserole or tater tot casserole from potlucks or social events or family dinners. They were thrifty, filling, and they were really good at being able to stretch across a big family or a large crowd. Very easy to do. Now, I personally don't remember growing up eating casseroles in our home. I may have eaten them at relatives' homes for holidays, but I don't really remember my mom baking casseroles. I do remember hamburger helper casseroles, and I did make those versions for my kids when I was raising them. Oh dear. Well, we do our best, don't we? I try. So let's check the chat here. Did you grow up with casseroles? And if so, what was the casserole in your family? Let's go ahead, Todd. Let's hear what you say.
Mona has an eggplant rollantini.
Ooh, eggplant rollantini. Oh, that sounds really Italian-y, doesn't it? And delicious. Well, yeah, it's probably eggplant and those type of noodles, I would guess. Okay.
And then Koala Mama likes scalped potatoes.
Yes.
If that counts. And lasagna, which is technically a casserole.
A casserole. It's layered. I love that.
But can't remember any other specific kinds of casseroles. They just have breadcrumbs or crackers or corn chips.
Yeah, nice. I love it. I love it. Okay. Here's another question. Do we have anyone here from the Midwestern US, right? If we do, you're going to have to fact check me here because I'm just not sure on this, but this is what I think is accurate. And if you're watching the replay and I'm mistaken or I'm correct, help me out. Let me know in the chat. But I believe in parts of the Midwest, like in Minnesota and the Dakotas, casseroles are very much a part of the culture. They even have their own special name. They call them hot dish. Like casseroles, most everywhere else, a classic hot dish usually has three parts to it, right? So there's a protein component, often meat, but you can put in beans now or lentils. The second one would be a vegetable or a mix of vegetables. And the third part would be like a starchy base like potatoes or whole wheat or gluten-free pasta or rice, often with a crunchy topping on top, like Koala Mama 2 had mentioned. So if you've ever seen recipes for tater tot hot dish or heard someone say, I'm bringing a hot dish, that's casserole culture in action, right? Did I get that right? Anybody here can verify?
Mona raised her hand, and we're checking the facts as we speak.
Okay, so get back to us on that. Okay, so now from a nutrition and lifestyle point of view, casseroles have a couple of really interesting features, right? First, they're the original meal prep and batch cooking tool. Think about it, right? Because you can build a complete meal in one dish. You can bake it once. You can eat it from multiple times, or you can portion it out for the freezer. So the future, you know, you can have a night off, right? Because a lot of people are into batch cooking, and this really this, I believe, was the beginning. Did you want to say something?
I was just going to say, Mona has mostly confirmed
Okay.
that they are in fact called hot dishes, with her response saying pretty much.
Okay. Jackie Cornog 327 says, I grew up on TV dinners in the aluminum trays, fish sticks and hot dogs. I remember when the first slow cookers came out, then it was chicken, carrots, and potatoes. Yes. Wow. I remember those too. And Jackie Cornog 327 says they were awful. We didn't really buy them at my mom's house. My parents were divorced. And I remember going over to my my grandparents' house, my father's parents, and that was like a special treat. They had a finished basement with shag rug, you know, and we could go down there and watch Carol Burnett with TV dinners in the aluminum trays. That was the hot ticket.
On TV stands?
No, they had one of those like that sat on the floor that looked like a big, like a console. It was, yeah. At our house, we had it on a TV stand, a smaller one, but my grandparents had the fancy one. Oh my gosh. So anyways, I am excited to have you guys share with me. So, you know, talking about, you know, all these different reasons that I believe that it's the beginning of like, baking earlier. One of the reasons that I love whole food plant-based casseroles so much is because they are a beautiful way to make your life easier while still learning, still leaning into real whole ingredients. Right? Traditional casseroles often relied on things like heavy creams or canned cream soups, lots of cheesies, butter, refined pasta or white rice, and sometimes even processed meats. So, you know, back then, would you consider that comforting? Back then, yeah, that's what it was. Was it good for long-term health? Not so much. No, I would say absolutely not. But, you know, we didn't know then what we know now. But the structure of the casserole is actually perfect for a whole food plant-based twist, right? So here's a question. Are you a follow a recipe exactly type of cook? Or are you more of a throw in whatever I have kind of cook? The basic casserole template is a base or a starch potato, whole grain or gluten-free pasta, brown rice, quinoa, millet, barley, anything like that. And then add your protein, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, tofu. You could do tempeh, you could do split peas, and then add your veggies. So as many as you want or like. You could do like the leafy greens, like we did today, kale or spinach that I talked about, bok choy, broccoli, carrots, peas, mushrooms, zucchini, onions, peppers. You know, there's so many. And then a sauce or a binder. So instead of the cream of something soup, remember that? The cream of something soup, yikes. Okay, anyways, you can use blended potatoes and carrots, cashew-free creamy sauces using beans or cauliflower. You could do tomato-based sauces or simple veggie broth thickened with like blended veggies, and then do a fun topping if you want. So instead of, you know, cheese, a lot of people used to use shredded cheese. You can use a crispy gluten-free or whole wheat breadcrumb topping made from whole grain bread, or you can, if you don't eat that, you can use like some kind of crushed rolled oats or a mix of ground nuts and seeds if you use those. Or you can even just sprinkle a little bit of the nutritional yeast and some herbs and call it a day. It's the same cozy, bubbly, and golden on top vibe, right? But very different impact on our beautiful bodies. Another thing I love about casseroles is how flexible and forgiving they are. You can't mess them up, really. So they're like the clean out of the refrigerator superpower, because you can use I've got a half of an onion here, the last 2 carrots, I got a handful of leftover greens, and oh, look there's a small half a container of cooked beans, and there's a tiny bit of cooked quinoa, right? And you can just turn it all into comforting, a complete meal just by putting them together in one dish. And then, maybe the only thing you'll want to do is create a good sauce or some seasonings and herbs. It's really amazing. Okay, so let's check the chat. Are you a follow a recipe exactly type of cook, or are you more of a throw in whatever I have kind of cook? What would you say, Todd? Any takers?
There wasn't any takers. I personally am a follow the recipe because I am not as adept at just throwing it together and coming up with something that is edible by humans.
Okay, but just for a quick side note, I do recall you trying some things where you just said, I think this is gonna, you would research recipes, and maybe we didn't have all the stuff. And then I remember I was traveling and you kind of put something together. And from that, it might not have been perfect, but you said, I know what I'm going to do next time.
Yeah, I'm better with seasonings in that respect.
Yes, just checking
It's the stuff that goes with the seasonings is like, I don't know.
Yes. Okay. So casseroles love both personalities, right? If you're a recipe person, you get clear steps. And if you're an improv person, casseroles they're very forgiving. Did you want me to read something? Oh, okay. Let me see. Koala Mama 2. Oh, I can't follow recipes. I always intend to, but start modifying right away. Well, good for you. Hopefully you remember what you did so that you can make it again or share it with somebody who might be interested. Right? And casseroles are not just great for you. They're also fantastic when you're going somewhere for an event or a gathering, or just to bring comfort to someone else. So think about it. Someone having a baby, right? Or they just had a baby. A family going through a loss that might need some help, or a neighbor recovering from a surgery. So if you have compassion, if you have compassionate people around you, what shows up at the door? Probably a casserole. I mean, it's likely, right? They're great for potlucks, graduations, family and friend reunions, work events where everyone's bringing a dish, and so on, right? So really, they're great for just about anything. And they're easy to transport, easy to reheat, and easy to share. That tradition of baking love into a dish and taking it to someone is such a beautiful reflection of how food connects us. So when we create whole food plant-based casseroles, we're not just making healthy food, but we're keeping that sense of comfort, care, and love, just in a way that's kinder to our bodies. So you could even think of casseroles as the original one-pan weeknight dinner, long before the sheet pan meals and the Instant Pots were trendy. You assemble it once, like we mentioned, you put it in the oven, and then you're free to do other things like clean up the kitchen, which I have to do after this, and play with your grandkids, do a little stretching, or just take a breath and reset while dinner is taken care of, right? You can make it a day or two in advance, and then you just take it out and you cook or reheat it when you're ready, which is something that I think is really, really great. So, because if you're someone who feels overwhelmed by cooking every single meal, every single day, which I am, and I usually don't do that, but casseroles can simplify things. I do like to batch cook, make things, last for a few days. So they simplify things because you make 1 or 2 big casseroles during the week, right? Pair them with a fresh, big, gigantic side salad. I say gigantic side salad because our salads in whole food plant-based are always gigantic, which is good. You can even do some steamed greens. And if you've got several meals ready to go, then you'll be ready for future as well. And I think that that's such a gift when you're busy and you're stressed or you're going through a lot emotionally. Even cooling it, cutting it into sections, and then freezing it is a great thing to do when you know you're going to be traveling, or when you get home, you'll have this version of your frozen ready, not in aluminum, ready to reheat meals, right? Just add the salad, like we mentioned above, maybe some fresh fruit. And I do that. And I'll tell you, it has been a lifesaver for me, especially when it comes to when I come home from international travel and my time and sleep is all messed up, or when I came back from True North a few years ago, I had stuff like this in the freezer, and it made things so much easier for me to transition back into my reality, because I was still building strength and I didn't have to do much except heat stuff up. So instead of a casserole loaded with the processed cheese and heavy creams, we can create comfort out of real whole foods that come from plants and that won't harm us in any way. Potatoes, beans, lentils. I'm just going to continue to mention these again: mushrooms, onions, herbs, and then of course the creamy sauce that you can blend from veggies and whole food ingredients. And maybe that crunchy topping we talked about earlier, but it's not coming from a bag of deep fried onions, guys. That's not what we're talking about here. So to put this little casserole story together, casseroles started as a simple idea: cook everything together in one dish. They became wildly popular in the 20th century, especially in the 1950s, as the thrifty, convenient way to feed families and crowds, right? Almost every culture has its own version of a one-dish oven-baked casserole meal. And today, they are perfect for whole food, plant-based cooking. Yay! Offering comfort food that's also deeply nourishing. So by choosing whole grains, beans, lentils, loads of veggies, and sauces made from real ingredients, we can keep the spirit of casseroles alive. Filling our bodies, it's cozy, it's shareable, it's full of love, everyone, while also honoring our bodies and our health. So do we have any questions or any last comments before we check on our casserole?
Mona still has her Betty Crocker, which I'm guessing cookbook, which,
oh my
if I remember that, it's the red and white checkered one. I remember the one that I had years and years and years ago. She got it when she was 12, and she still uses it today.
Wow. Wow. Always have followed recipes. 69 now. That's amazing. That's amazing, Mona. And you know what? You can take some of those and you can like change out some of the ingredients to make it healthier and try it again. I love that. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, so this says we have 5 minutes on it. I'm going to pull it. You guys have been super patient with me. I know we've gone over, and but you know, or should I let it go? Yeah, I'll just say one more thing, give it 2 more minutes and pull it out. So the thing about casseroles is you can make a few changes, right? Like we just talked about with this kind of Betty Crocker cookbook that she still has, and have a totally different flavor profile. It's amazing. So some of the things that I would suggest is like, if you like a spicy version, change it up with the spices. Or just add some heat, like you could add cayenne, chili powder, those kinds of things. Or you can also make it like a more holiday-like version. You could add things like cinnamon and nutmeg, ginger, allspice, you know, for that like holiday feel kind of feeling to it. So use your imagination and just have fun with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out. I know we have 4 minutes left on the timer, and that's okay. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, so, you know, you could let it go longer, but let's see what it looks like. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, it's so heavy. Oh, it looks really great. Looks really, really great. What do you think, you guys? Oh, I can't pick it up. It's too hot and heavy, honey. But I do want to show you the one that I made yesterday, which I'm going to grab over here and show you. This one is a little bit of a smaller one. And look, you see, I cooked it a little bit longer. And so there you have it. It's browned up and beautiful. And you could let it cool to cut into it. And then here, of course, if you wanted to add some scallions, you know, on top or whatever, like I mentioned, you could do that if you wanted, but it doesn't really need it. So anyways, that is it. We can taste it, but this one, it's so hot. I don't know, which one should we taste? The one that's room temperature? Todd, you want to taste it with me? Should we do room temperature or should we burn our mouths?
I would say in the interest of safety, we should eat the room temperature.
Okay, well, all right, let's see. Hold on here. Let me get a spoon. Oh, you want a spoon or a fork?
Whatever you hand me. Hello, everybody. I'm back again.
I'm going to do a spoon.
All right.
Here's the big spoon that
Man
you like.
spoon.
I don't know.
All right, let's do that. The hot one. Just be careful.
I think I'm going to go for the hot one.
I sense danger.
But you can do whatever you want. Gosh,
Yeah, so
if
many
I
choices.
cut it versus scoop it, right? Do we even care? Maybe I should get a plate and we'll cut it. That's safer. You're right. You are right, my love.
I said nothing, and yet I'm right.
What?
I didn't say anything, and I'm right. So
and you're right.
I will say nothing more often.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut this.
Okay.
Because this one, I think you can see. Oh, my gosh. Look at that.
Yeah, looks like it's been cut.
Can you hold this?
I will hold this.
Okay, and I'm just looking for a little, maybe I'll do this one because I think this is really too hot for right now.
It's gonna be all gooey.
Yeah, it might just be too hot
Okay.
and burn us. So let me just scoop this out. I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces.
Okay.
Oh, the first piece is always the hardest one to get out,
Right.
but you could do it. You could do it. I trust in you. Oh, look at, see?
Ah, that looks fantastic.
Let's just make sure, put the other piece on there and we'll make sure to to show it.
Okay.
Hold on. Oh my goodness. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let me change cameras real quick.
You
There
see
we
that?
go.
And then when you're finished, I want to also just show this angle, the front angle camera.
Yep.
And I just want to be able to let you see the layers. I love how it's got the depth of the different colors and so forth.
Yeah.
And so let's go ahead. Go ahead. This is not going to burn us. That was the one. I love hot food, but let me grab some and we can try it together.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait. Let me get a little bit more. Ready?
Cha-ching.
Cheers. Mm. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really good.
Do you like it?
I do.
So this one didn't have the sauce. It is really flavorful.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have the sauce mixed ahead of time in the potatoes, but I don't feel like the potatoes are missing anything in terms of flavor.
No, and I like that the potatoes aren't all mashed because it gives it a little texture.
Texture, yes, because they did keep their kind of like their diced feeling. Oh, he's going for the veggies on top.
I'm going for everything.
Now, another thing you could do if you make enough veggies is you could like double this recipe and do another layer of veggies in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But we just have the veggies on the top. And so it's really, really quite versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have one more bite. Wow.
It's really good.
That is so good.
Mm.
Even room temperature, even though I love it hot, I'm just going to grab something off the floor so I don't step on it. So, oh my gosh, you guys, this has been a lot of fun as usual. And I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. And just, yeah, it did. It baked so quickly. I just wanted to answer Koala Mama too. It's really just about browning the top at this point and making sure everything is hot, even though, you know, we made the potatoes and stuff yesterday. It's all good. So whether it comes out of the oven and you're doing it all in one shot, just make sure that you let the potatoes cool so that you can handle them, like to cut them and dice them and everything. And anyways, I also wanted to just look back in the chat. Jackie Cornog 327, we were gifted a Fanny Farmer's cookbook for our wedding 53 years ago. At that point, I had no idea how to even boil water. Wow. I don't even know what a Fanny Farmer cookbook is. I'm going to look that up. And Mona says, yeah, I'm going to have to look that one up. So we are going to be looking that up. So anyways, Mona says, thank you both as always. And Jackie Cornog says, most of the recipes call for a lot of sugar, but you can swap that out for date sugar, coconut sugar, or you could do regular dates. What were you going to suggest?
I was going to say maple syrup.
Maple syrup. There's lots of things you can do. So thank you so much, everybody. I really, again, I had a great time. I'm sorry I kept you guys and we did go over, but I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I just want to say, don't forget to eat your greens. And as I always say, give plants a chance. They won't let you down. Take care, everyone, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.